Welcome to another episode of the Ramadan show with Alhanislam. And today, inshallah, I have with me Hafsa and Hafsa again. I'm really hoping no arguments ever again, right?
She's grown up right now, so she's not going to get into an argument with me.
Exercising sabr.
You're exercising sabr.
Sabr, yes, I'm
Okay.
MashaAllah.
Right.
It's Ramadan,
Mhm.
so I need as much sabr as I.
Okay, so you're handing over her matter to the Lord.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I think Mama just took said there.
No.
My matter. She's handing over my matter.
But obviously, I'm the faith. So what you?
Okay. So we're gonna talk about the menstruating woman and Ramadan. There is so much, that comes up on that. Can she listen to the Quran? Can she recite the Quran? What can she do in Ramadan, right? Without feeling like this is not supposed to be so when Allah has made it so. And we would continue with that when we come back from the short break. So as I said before we went on a break about the topic menstruating woman and Ramadan, this is something that is very dear to us. So we're gonna talk about this because there is a lot that comes up, right? Can she listen to the Quran? Can she recite the Quran? And sometimes these things are really, they get to this person and you start to feel like Ramadan is not meant for me. And some people go to the extent of taking drugs. Now, before I even get to that part, you find in the history that the Jews, they used to push away their wives when they're on their period. You can't be on the bed, so maybe she has to sleep on the floor. Some even
she's filthy.
Yes, some even chase her away. And exactly. And so when the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came and he made that known that your wife isn't filth and she can share the bed with you. The only thing you cannot do is you cannot have sexual intercourse when she is on her period, right? So so first things first, I feel people should know a little about that history. And so you are not filth. You're not filth. It's just what's coming out of you that is, but again, it still comes back to the hygiene. Right now, what do you think, Hafsa, about this?
Firstly, we need to understand the whole concept around menstruation. You see, a menstruating woman is not allowed to pray. People tend to think, oh, she's not allowed to pray because Allah thinks she's impure or she's filth. But then I think I read or listened to something very, very interesting.
Right.
Where I think the scholar tried to explain, or the sheikh tried to explain that, we're losing blood. And as we lose blood, we tend to lose certain nutrients, like iron, other things.
And we become weak.
We become very weak. Imagine, Allah knows the state we are in. And He decided to lessen the burden on us. When you are menstruating and you don't pray, you still get the reward for praying because Allah knows that if it wasn't for the menstruation,
you would
actually be praying. Yeah. So He just wanted to make it easier for us. Then He said, okay, you know what?
Take a break.
Take a break.
Right.
Do not pray.
For your Rabbi is merciful.
Exactly. So you see, that when you ponder upon that, you realize that a menstruating woman has so much to gain.
Right. There is so much love coming from Allah. And that is not a sign of saying, I don't love you or I don't want you to engage in this. So similarly, imagine you fasting and you're losing blood and despite the fact that you're gonna eat sahur, right? Imagine you losing that and fasting in that state. You are just going to pass out. So Allah knows you better than anybody and knows, you know, your capacity, and you might feel like, you know what, I can still do it, but he knows you cannot, so he decided to lessen that. So he loves us.
He loves us dearly. Allah loves us more than our mothers
7 times. Hafsa, do you have something to say about this topic?
Well, what can I say? Well, for most women, they actually feel, oh, it's so. We all have the eerie thing about when it comes to menstruation. For some women, they feel uncomfortable actually when they're in that period. But they should know that actually what they're going through purity in itself. Because they're actually taking out the bad bloods and all other substances, whatever it is, from their body, and it doesn't make them impure. Yes, they are not pure to touch the Holy Quran, and even the Holy Quran, I think it's
talking about not touching the Holy Quran. It's quite a controversial issue. But if there is something I know and I am sure of, is that if a woman is a teacher, say I am a teacher in an Islamic school, and I use the mushaf to teach children, and I am on my period, what you could do is create a barrier between you and the Quran, and you could actually carry it and teach it. Or you can read it from your
we have technically advanced, so we have the Quran through YouTube. You have the what's it called, audio wise through your smartphones and the rest. So yes,
even the Quran, some scholars say at that moment the Quran you have on your phone, it's like the mushaf, and then you know we can never truly know. Allah knows best, but as a sister, Allah always knows best. We can never truly know what is right and what is wrong. We just hope that we are always doing the right thing.
Yeah, and
where we fall short, may Allah forgive.
Exactly. And so, like, you see, the thing is a little bit dicey. So it's more like you have to pick a school of thought.
Exactly.
That you know, you're not in doubt of, and the strongest of opinion of the scholars. But if there's one thing I know is there are some scholars who say you cannot even listen to the Quran. Right? And I feel, not just feel, but from some hadith that I have read and some stories of the Sahaba, there is a particular Sahaba. Now, if we're talking about filth, right? There's a particular Sahaba who loved reading the Quran so much that he was just going to the washroom to ease himself, and he had to just drop the mushaf for just a few minutes, and his son happened to just be close by, and he said, recite the Quran for me, oh my beloved son, so I can listen and not lose time out of, you know, listening to it. So if truly you're not supposed to listen to the Quran when in a state of filth, the Sahaba who happened to be close to the Prophet Muhammad wouldn't be listening. So I feel like, again, some women, because of what just any other person just throws at you and say, you know what, this is it about you, right? They just take it. Why? Because we have refused to research and seek that knowledge ourselves.
As Muslims, we are supposed to seek knowledge.
As women especially.
We are supposed to just seek knowledge. Until we get to paradise.
Inshallah.
Knowledge, seeking knowledge never ends for us.
Inshallah. Never ends. So we're gonna hear the views and
during Ramadan, as a menstruating woman, for me it's acts of charity, cooking food for the fasting people, giving out free food to the less privileged as much as I can, and then of course not missing my azkars, and then of course zikr 24/7, as much as, since I have energy to eat, you know, so I might as well exhaust the energy in praying, even though I can't pray. So yeah, lots of du'as at certain times and hours of the day, and then I try to wake up at night as well to pray. Du'as in the sense, not praying. So yeah, charity, zikrs, adhkars, and that's more like it.
Even if you're menstruating or you're on your period, you can still do your ibadat during Ramadan. You can still wake up at night, sit down, perform ablution, and pray. Use your tasbih. Also do the askar and other things. You could also read your Quran, even if it's not the whole full Quran, but you can take it in parts and also read, which will also give you more benefits.
Back. Now that we've heard the views, we are going to talk a little about the things you could actually do while you're not in the state of purity. Not that you are impure, but you are in a state of impurity that you could do. First is increase in a lot of zikr. Do not worry, because the fact that you're on your period and you're not fasting, you're gaining reward. So first you could just increase in doing your zikr. You could perform your ablution and just sit.
Zikrs you could go through. We have the 99 names of Allah. Each has its own bearing and focus and importance and use. So you could just go through them. There are other du'as you could also put in place to actually seek for whatever it is you want from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a blessed month, don't forget. So involve as much as possible in
making
du'as.
Right.
And then indulge to make work easier for that the person who is fasting. Let's say as a sister, of course you'll be a sister to be menstruating, and then you have another sister and then she's supposed to cook, and you know you're not fasting, and then she's fasting. Why don't you just help her out? And then you see, you by that way you project kindness to her and you get reward. And then if it's food, you actually get reward for every single person you fed that day. So you see, there are just many ways you could get reward even while menstruating as a sister, as a woman.
And don't forget, there's a hadith that clearly states that he who feeds or he who gives charity to one who is fasting has the same reward with the other person who is actually fasting.
So you see,
So it's a bonus.
For the pain you go through, and then for feeding people, there's just so much to
There's
gain
so
when
much to do,
menstruating.
and there's so
so
much
you could also
abundance.
just increase in charity generally. And if you're on your period and you're not feeling fine and you think you need to take a nap, you could rest. But there are some people that you're on your period, you are not going through menstrual pain or anything, right? But then you're like, ooh, this is ultimate rest, bro. I'm not even going to try to do any extra deed,
You should
This
do
is-
an extra deed.
Please get encouraged. You should get encouraged. Know that there are lots of rewards to actually gain by actually helping out, by giving charity. So please don't just decide to stay idle. Don't just decide to stay and be like, nah, I need to rest. I'm not stressing myself. You all know it's I'm on my menstrual cycle. It shouldn't just be about that. Try to get as much reward as you could in the holy month of Ramadan.
Right.
And then you said something, mother. You said something about some ladies who take pills before their period comes because they are trying to not miss Ramadan.
Right.
It is totally wrong.
It's totally
it has
wrong. It's not acceptable.
it has harmful effects health wise, and then Islamically it is so not right.
It's so not right.
not
So
right.
please,
It's
this
not
is
right.
something that
So
just
please, if you're out there and you're actually
naturally.
doing that, kindly desist from doing further.
It's just let it come. Allah put it there.
Yeah.
It has its reason. So let it just come, okay?
You know, once I was in school, and then fortunately and unfortunately, my menstrual cycle came. Towards the last 10 days, I felt really bad. Like,
Right.
oh God, I wanted to stand for the
Tahajjud.
Hajj, and then now I have my period here. What am I supposed to do? I felt really bad, but then later I realized, okay, this is not actually all that bad. I could sit and perform zikr and say du'as because Allah has seen my intention. He knows that if it wasn't for that, I would have tried to stand for tahajjud. So we could always make the most of it.
Yeah, so you could
Binniyat.
yeah, so you could just try as much as possible, stay positive. Allah is a loving God and He loves you, and that's why He just put that there. So
Above all, menstrual cycle is not a bad thing. So please don't feel as if you're filth. You're actually going through what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made everyone else to go through.
yeah, so
You're not
please seek
different from
knowledge
all
also.
other people actually
Seek
going
knowledge,
through it.
yes. Do not just read this and then accept it.
Yeah,
Research upon it.
Yeah.
exactly.
that Miriam here have to guess from what surah I recited. I quoted that verse from.
Okay.
So, here's the verse.
You want to embarrass us?
فعال لما يريد. It ain't coming. Hafsa.
Yes, please, Hafsa. Before the
Mariam.
Hello. No, H comes before M. Maybe she answered down.
I'm not sure.
I'm also not sure, but then
I think I'm gonna have a punishment for both of you.
Are you serious? Calm down, calm.
Especially you. You're supposed to know because
How am I supposed
it's
to?
my favorite.
I could continue. I could continue from where you stop, but I'm just trying to get.
I'm trying. I didn't ask you to continue. Surah. Well, to help them, that verse came from Surah Al-Buruj.
Hello, we didn't ask you to answer. So
Did you Wasabi?
Yes.
Who
We're trying to remember.
No, honestly.
We are punishing her.
Yeah.
You decided to embarrass us on TV.
In fact,
we are frustrated. We are not doing again. In fact, we are not doing again. What is that? Who asked you?
You guys are just so losers.